walk me through how you actually got into becoming a solutions architect. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today on this interview series. Joining me today is Sarab, who will be talking a little about the career path into becoming a solutions architect. My name is Nick Lee. I'm currently a solutions architect at Tecton. And Sarab, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Nick, for having me here today. I'm glad to back in the Exponent channel. And I'm Saurabh Srivastava, and I work in AWS, and I'm part of the AWS since last 8.5 years, and lead the team of solution architect here, and did various kind of roles, like started with solution architect and then took the leadership role in the solution architect and getting evolving my career. And before AWS, I have worked in the different companies. I started as software developer and then took the enterprise architect path and solution architect path over 2 decades of experience.
I see a lot of books behind you. Could you maybe talk
Okay.
about the story behind those and maybe what you're working on right now?
Yeah, I will say is book is one of the passion I got because of the solution architect path only, right? So when I joined the AWS and become solution architect here, one of the key KPI is the solution architect is not just about designing the architecture, but it's also about evangelizing the overall offering or AWS offerings, especially in back in the days when cloud was upcoming, people were not familiar. So we tasked to go write a blog and white papers and go into the different industry summits and reinvent and industry conferences and talk about AWS, how it can help to the customers. And at that journey, in first couple of years, I wrote around 20, 25 odd number of blogs and white papers and created a multiple workshop. And then, but I felt that at some point those are still little scattered. So why not to venture into writing a book journey? And it's better way to share my knowledge. And first book in 2020, I launched Solution Architect Handbook, which is a best-selling book, my one of the best-selling book. And in April, I launched third edition of that because I got so much love and support from the builder community. And around 80,000 copies got sold as of now. So you can see the impact, and I'm glad lots of people learning from it. Then the second book I put in the series is Solution Architect for the AWS. Means yes, you learn the basic concept and build your foundation with AWS for Solution Architect. Now, how to do it in cloud? And that's what I launched the book, the Solution Architect for AWS. Okay, so now people can learn in the cloud how to do it. And it is 600-page book, talked about all the well-architected pattern, different services concept, and when to choose what service, which is very important, and how to think about the cloud, which is very different from on-prem. And finally, with these two books, actually, I was getting lots of requests. People are asking how I cracked the solution architect interview. What is the path? So last month, I launched the Solution Architect Interview book, which is again 500-page book, and it has end-to-end guidance that how one should think about the different solution architect path, how to pursue their tips and trick to crack the interview, and how to go through that. So kind of I try to build the entire package, but it's a last 5 years.
That's awesome. Those are some awesome numbers, like 80,000 copies sold. That's probably one of the best-selling essay books on Amazon. Given your background in this, would love to kind of start this discussion talking about how you got started in solutions architecture, because a lot of our viewers are thinking about this as a career path. Some of them may already be on their way. Some of them are just thinking about what they want to do out of college, things like that. So walk me through how you actually got into becoming a solutions architect, and just tell us how that path looks.
Yes, yes. So I will talk about my journey, and then I think many people will relate to it, and then we will discuss few more things, which is the different path, not from my journey, but it is fit for the other journeys and people who I have mentored, and they become the solution architect. So for my journey, actually, I started as a software developer, and I was hardcore like C developer for pretty much 8 to 10 years. And as technology evolved, I also try to get my hands on the different technology, like in mostly on the programming area in the Java and Node.js and React.js and all those things, trying to learn Rust and PHP and Python, all those. But one thing, sir, I was always missing that when I'm going and learning that, I'm like very silos. I just focus on the piece of code. Okay, so this is my module. I focus on this piece of code. I build it, I deployed it, and this is doing this feature. But once I getting a more senior role, I learn that hey, this is not the what the piece I'm working, which is very small piece, like a drop in the ocean. There is much bigger play, which include the whole 9 yard of the things, include networking, include how we are going to distribute the static content like video and image, how we are going to host that code. Then there is a database, encryption, compliance, and interest me, hey, this is the big area and it is challenging area to learn. So I started more exploring the solution architect kind of role. So first I become a software architect looking end to end entire architecture from the application development point of view. But still it was missing the other part of things like networking and security and all. And then I expanded more on to understand how to do overall sizing and all. And then I get into the enterprise architect mode. It's really fly more once I get into AWS, and especially I will credit cloud. It's not just me, but anyone working in the any cloud. You see that cloud is not just about you. You can focus on the one module. Earlier in on-premise, someone else is doing networking, someone else is doing spinning up the server, and someone else is doing database, and like you are focusing on the code, and there is a whole lot of team there, and it has their own nuances. But when it's cloud, it is everything expected from you. You should know everything, right? Because there is a console in front of you, and in click of the button, you can spin up database, you can create the network, you can spin up the container, and then you can deploy the code, packaging, and there is different kind of compute. So that's where I got entire end-to-end things. Okay, how the entire system fit together. And what I did actually first, I did all the at that time back in 2017, AWS has 5 certifications, so I did all 5 that time. Then now it is has 11, so slowly I did other them, but it provided me good understanding. And one things I will say that everyone, that doing certification is not make you expert, but it give you how to think about it, what different things are there, right? And then you do the project on that, you get the practical experience and do dive deep, have hands on. That's what will take you the solution architect path. So that was a brief journey how I got into the solution architect things, and I give the big credit to my software development background and then to the cloud.
And speaking of your software development background, what other backgrounds have you seen successfully transition into a solutions architect role? Could they come from other technical backgrounds, not just software? Maybe talk about people you've worked with, some of the successful profiles and backgrounds that they had.
Yes, yes. So definitely, I will say that most of the people currently I'm working, more than 50% of them don't have the software development background, right? So lots of the people coming from the other background. So you see that people working as a network engineer, they can go as a network architect. Who are working on the security, they are going as security architect, or who are going as the database admin, they can go more on the database architect, and similarly data engineer like analytics architect. And what is so how it is happening actually, is when we are working, first role is going as a journalist solution architect, right? And then with the journalist solution architect, know everything at 200, 300 level. Means you can do the discovery call and you can do the understand the customer requirement. But when you need to dive deep in particular area, then you bring the specialist solution architect. So there is always path to have the specialist solution architect from the different domain, and people can build their career there. The other interesting fact I see more and more is industry solution architect is also coming up, where a lot of the architect is who has working in the industry, suppose financial service domain or manufacturing domain or supply chain domain and telecom domain. They have like decades of experience on all these domains, and those people are bringing lots of industry expertise also. So currently I see there is a place for all sort of expertise, and it is very easy to migrate from one to other with the right guidance. And that's what I talked about in my solution architect interview guide. Like each chapter is focused on these different specialty area, how to get to that path.
Personally, I interview a lot of solutions architects trying to apply for our company. So I might just borrow some questions from there. But we're going to cover some of the most common solutions architects questions in the second session. But today, let's focus on some of the educational backgrounds, the skills necessary. You mentioned the AWS certifications that you got. What kind of certifications are out there, maybe in AWS or outside of AWS, that people might want to consider as they upskill for a solutions architect job?
Yes, yes. Yeah, so as I said, there is a multiple certification. So inside AWS, we have around 11 certification and different domains, and it include AI, ML, database, or it is DevOps and developer and also very dive deep certification are there in multiple domains, and you will find the equivalent certification there in all cloud, where you are going through the Google Cloud Platform, or you are going to the Microsoft Azure, or GCP, or Oracle. Okay, Oracle Cloud Platform, OCI. So you will you will find those kind of certification. That is one set of which cloud you are targeting, you can get on that. And I pretty much find if you have a certification in one cloud, you can pretty much do in others. Okay, there is some cloud has more depth, some has less, but at least you get the basic concept. Apart from that, it is become very important to have the industry certification, especially if you are looking for the industry focus. So like mm, if you are going for the FSI industry, financial services, then we are looking what are the different compliances are there, right? Or in networking, then you have the various Cisco certification, which give very good understanding what's going on there. Then you need to understand this PCI DSS compliance for finance is there, for GDPR in Europe is there, or SOX 1, SOX 2 for the security is there. So I will say most of there is lots of certification out there, but if you are targeting the cloud career, do the cloud certification. And again, certification will get your foot into the door. It is not necessary it will give you the job, but for recruiter, for like I interview lots of people and I see that as a positive sign. This person had discipline to learn and something outside, and then I always check whatever you have learned, are you able to apply that in the job, right? And if you people have just piled up the thousands of certification, that might not help. But if they did this certification, applied in the job, did the project, and able to go dive deep onto that and explain the practical experience, that will help definitely. So certification is one part. I will say this is the starting point. The second, I will say, take those your learning and build some project, build your own project. You can you have that word open to you with the cloud. You can just spin up your own product, build your own website, okay, and slice and dice your knowledge from the different places. And once you do that, might be within your company where you are working, you can showcase your skill, and I'm sure that your leadership will have the opportunity to give you that kind of things where you have the proven skill and you have interest, and that will take you the final path of getting the full-fledged full-fledged architect role.
That's awesome advice. And it sounds like successful candidates are experimenters. You mentioned starting up your own cloud environment, building things, experimenting. In your opinion, what do great candidates look like for an SA job? What are some of the key traits, the personality traits that you're looking for? Maybe skills that are beyond certifications, something else. What gives them that
Yes,
magic
yes.
X factor?
Yes, yes. And if you see that a solution architect job is has lots of responsibility, because it is, as you said, it is not just about the technology, right? It is about entire organization is depend upon you what decision you are taking. Okay. So, and that's what you will see in my book, and both book, especially Solution Architect Handbook. I have specifically have chapter on the soft skills for solution architect, and there is an entire big chapter on the solution architect interview where I'm talking about the soft skill, what different soft skill they should have. So because these role is technology is one thing, and again technology need to be very diverse set of technology, right? You should able to make the choices whether, if I have the five things in my plate, which things fit well on that? What is the monitoring platform? If you're talking about monitoring platform, there is tons of monitoring platform there, right? Cloud has their own, and then you can go and purchase from the there. And same is if you're talking about the anything else, right? There is multiple choices available. What is the right choice there, right? Each product will say they are the right choice, but looking backward from the business problem, what is the security, cost, performance, resiliency requirement is there, you need to choose the right tool, and for that broad knowledge is required. That's what I said, that one of the principle is learn and be curious. Always learning is important. The second is how well you are going to collaborate across the team, and most important job, you will one day you will be in front of the executive and you are telling the solution value proposition where you get the 5-minute elevator pitch and talk in their language and tell them how this solution is going to improve your company productivity and improve your customer satisfaction and give you the dollar amount. Second day you are sitting with engineer and explaining this how to implement it and going very dive deep in tech, right? So people depend upon you take this very deep tech things, convert into the language which CXOs can understand, which business people can understand, and then take the requirement for business people and convert into the language which technical people can understand. So that is also becoming very important. And third, I will say, is the thought leadership. We talked about that. You establish yourself as evangelize the product you are doing, and that is additional responsibilities are there. And across all of the things, I will focus that everyone focus on the business requirement. Business team is there. If something is wrong, they will hold the people. Okay, I have asked for this feature, why it is not there? But solution architect responsibility is non-functional requirement, right? That they need to make sure that neither business people not the development, they don't look holistic system, that how the performance is going to impact. Okay, is my system have the resiliency, is this system is highly available, if any disaster will happen, if my one site is crashed, my system will be running, if I have the total proper business continuation plan, and how I'm going to optimize the cost of the overall system. So on look after the security, so no security breach happen. So all this non-functional requirement, I think, is very key responsibility for the solution architect. And that's what I look when I hire the people, if they are covering all these areas.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I definitely agree on your emphasis on tying things back to business value. Uh, I've interviewed some solutions architects where technically they're awesome, but we just don't feel like they can sell the vision or the solution to the customer, and we have to remind ourselves that part of what we do is persuasion, and oftentimes we have to tie that back to the business value. We've had a great conversation today. Are there any other tips or advice that you'd like to share with the audience on becoming a solutions architect? And also, where can we go to get a copy of your book?
Yeah, so I will say there is still a lot of demand for the solution architect, and this market is growing very fast. It doesn't matter what kind of AI is coming, the creativity the solution architect is bringing. No, none of the generative AI models going to override that. Okay, so there is lots of opportunity, and the right time is now. If you're not started, start in your journey. There is lots of resources available, and I think Exponent has the courses there, very nice courses, and then I have put the book there. So there is lots of knowledge around. Get yourself organized, start learning, and you will definitely grab your dream job. And my books are all available in Amazon.com. So, or almost globally, all the countries it is available. So you can grab a copy anytime, and you can always connect me over LinkedIn. I'm all the feedback and things are always welcome. You see that I always keep enhancing my book because of getting all the feedback from the builder community through the different channels.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And thank you, all those who tuned in today. Join us next time for the second part of our conversation with Saurabh, where we'll actually go in depth on some example questions that are asked for solutions architects roles. We'll go into what he and other interviewers look for in good answers and kind of give you more of a tactical approach to getting that first job as a solutions architect.